It's disgusting. So I wanted to answer more of your questions. And so the first question I'm going to start with today is kind of a bunch. Some people ask me kind of repeats from last time, so I didn't want to do the same thing twice. But my buddy Kevin Brazzi, he asks, what is my favorite habitat to herp? And that's like a really hard question. That's like saying, hey, what's your favorite kid? Because I like them all, just all for different reasons. You'll see me a lot in like streams and sections of rivers and stuff, just because I like aquatic turtles, and I like to put myself where I'm going to find the things that I like the most. I like, snapping turtles, map turtles, cooters, soft shells. So yeah, that's probably where I end up the most. So I definitely like that probably the most. But then when it comes to snakes, I really like coastal plain habitat, but then I'm also torn because there's some really good stuff in the Piedmont. One of the more unique places is I do like where some of the pygmy rattlesnakes are around here, because they like these really awesome exposed areas of like granite rock and stuff, and I think that's an interesting habitat. So to give you an answer, I don't know. Gun to my head, maybe like the Cahaba River in Alabama might be my favorite, because I feel like it has everything. So there you go. All right, DWW1570 says, is there a way to accurately be able to tell a common or alligator snapping turtle's age? And the real answer there is no, there's not like a one cut and dry way. And it's just really difficult. I mean, unless you're talking about an animal was born in captivity on a certain date, there's no real way to know. So, people always talk about with turtles counting the rings and all the growth annuli. Counting growth annuli it gives you a rough estimate, but a turtle can have a really good year and put on more than one growth annuli ring, or whatever you want to call it, and then they can have bad years where they don't put on any at all. And with snapping turtles, I feel like that's even more exaggerated, especially with alligator snappers, because they just grow so slow. But then every now and then you find some where you can visibly tell they grow quickly. So I hate to tell you, there's no real answer. I never really saw the point in trying to figure out their age. It's not like it really matters. I guess if you're really worried about breeding them, but even then, if you're breeding them, it's about size, it's not about age. So, sorry, that's, you asked. What selection of foods am I feeding my alligator snapping turtles? So for the young ones, for young alligator snappers, I feed them the same stuff I feed, Florida or common snapping turtles. So I'll feed them freeze-dried krill. I'll also feed them frozen krill. I'll feed chopped shrimp. When it's available, I like to do crayfish. I'll also do chopped pieces of fish. I prefer fish with like scales on it, and more than just a basic fillet, because there's protein in those scales. When I feed shrimp, the shell and the legs and the tail and all that stuff go in there too, because they need all that stuff. Nature isn't cleaning them and giving them to them. They take on all that stuff, and after they've digested the meat, those pieces of shell and leg and all that stuff and scale, they're still kind of digesting in the body, and their body's taking on protein from that. So as much as I can, I try to follow a natural diet. Bigger alligator snappers, I would recommend whole fish. I would recommend lots of crayfish. Shrimp, I don't really do a lot of shrimp with them, just because I would do like a lot of crayfish or something. Mussels, clams, apple snails, similar diet to what I give my Mexican giant musk turtle. He eats a whole lot of apple snails. Alligator snappers will eat that too. And I don't do rodents, and I don't do chicken. Those are two things that, the way chicken's grown now, we grow it as big and thick and fat as we can, as fast as we can. So there's growth hormones in there, and the chicken's just unnaturally plumped up to a degree that's just not natural for these turtles. And I just don't think they can assimilate that amount of protein and fat the same way that they would like a natural, like if they ate a duck or something. So I also don't feed rodents to my alligator snappers at all. I think it seems that commons can kind of handle that stuff, but alligator snappers can't. They just don't do well on rodents. They get fat, and it's bad for them. I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me on that, because a lot of people like to feed them that, but that's just, you asked. What are my thoughts and feelings towards hybrid turtles, and do I own any? I'm not a big fan of hybrids. I'm against their existence, but I am not a fan of people intentionally trying to breed them to make hybrids. I just don't see the point, and I just don't see, like, where's that going to go? Are you trying to make it like domestic dogs, and we're going to try and make like a Maltese out of turtles? I mean, a little bit goofy to me. I do have 2 hybrid turtles. I have a potential river cooter map turtle hybrid, and I have a alligator snapping turtle, Florida snapping turtle hybrid. And they're interesting, and they're interesting little critters, but I'm not like a huge fan of hybrids. The only reason I have those is just because they're of interest to science, and I have people that are kind of in that background that said they're going to take a look at them, and I'm still kind of waiting on them to come take a look at them, so we'll see when they get around to it. But that's my feeling on hybrids. I'm old school, man. I prefer like really good, clean examples of a species, and I appreciate things for what they are. So that was from my buddy Turtle Essence. He also has a YouTube channel, so Turtle Essence on Instagram and Turtle Essence on YouTube, and he's super cool. I like that guy a lot. And then another guy slipped into my DMs with a question. I need to bring that one up so you can watch me go through my phone. Actually, while I go through my phone, I'm going to overlay some B-roll. So enjoy this B-roll while I'm going through my phone. Let's see. Okay. Do I prefer... This is from Turtles and More. Do I prefer letting baby turtles live outside year-round right away, or do I keep the young turtles indoors until they're a certain size of age? And that depends upon the species. So I have turtles that are out here that are babies that hatched out here, and I couldn't find them. There's probably some Gulf Coasts way over there in that Gulf Coast pen. I saw that the nest cavity, I saw that they came out. I just never found them, but I'll probably find them in the spring. So if they hatch naturally outside, they do fine. There's no natural disaster that's gonna happen here that bothers them. And as long as they don't get eaten by predators, they're fine. I did get some hatchling turtles recently. I'm gonna do another video on that pretty soon. And I got some baby Florida soft shells and some different kinds of cooters, and I'm starting them off in the garage in a stock tank to kind of get them head started, but then next year, after the first winter, they're good to go. So my battery's about to die. Thanks for watching this video. I like answering your guys' questions, and I'll see you guys on the next one, because I still have more to go. If you like videos like this, like, comment, subscribe, and check out my t-shirt I have for sale. If you like alligator snapping turtles, you can get one of these, and you can be a cool guy.